It's time to go. Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now let's listen.
Now that's a theme song. I
That's a
like
song.
it. Now that's a song. And now it's on. Woo! Mother and son making
Welcome.
sense out of nonsense
Plus
plus
more,
more.
plus much, much more.
Oh, geez, more. There's going to be so much more today.
Well, it feels like it's been years since we've done one of our shows.
Well, it's been a year because it just, listen, always living in the past, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I was living in the past in that statement. Yes, well, in the moment, here we are. We're doing a show, looking at you. You're listening, I'm listening, and here we are.
Can we get to a topic? We've already
Can we get
lost
to a
half
topic?
we've already lost half of the audience.
Hmm. What audience? Are we still doing word of the week?
Word of the day, word of the week. Yes, you
All right.
first.
My word is contingent.
Contingent.
Oh,
It's a word that I do know, I have to admit, but I just think it's a nice little word that I don't use often, and it means occurring or existing only if certain circumstances are the case. An example is resolution of the conflict was contingent on the signing of the ceasefire agreement.
I love that word. And this show is contingent on the topics.
It's contingent on the topics, it's contingent on us being here, and it's contingent on you.
Thank you for the explanation. Thank you for the clarification. My word, I thought your word started with a Q when I first heard it, but it doesn't. My word starts with a Q, and my word is quintessential. What?
Quintessential.
Oh, let me get a little bit louder.
I did hear you.
Quintessential. Quintessential.
Quintessential, spelled QUINTESSENTIAL, representing the most perfect or typical example of quality or class. He was the quintessential tough guy, strong, silent, and self contained.
It sounds a lot like someone I know.
Yes, it does.
Well,
And
this show
someone
is. Oh, my bad. What were you saying?
and someone that you've known for 39 years.
Yes, myself.
Do you really know yourself? Or are you
Well,
still learning?
that's actually one of my topics. I'm still learning a lot.
I love this. Let's go get right into it because I have a question right off the bat.
Well, it started with focusing on other people. Big surprise there. But I read the phrase, which is I've commonly heard before, of put yourself in someone else's shoes. And I thought how challenging that is for me to really understand how somebody works, their behavior, their actions, why they would do things the way they would. I really don't understand. And then I thought, do I really understand myself? speaking of the past, looking at my troubled past, the highs and lows, and do I really understand and know myself? Well, the answer is sort of.
No,
That's
the
it for me.
answer is no.
Thanks for your vote of confidence.
Well, confidence, and so when you say know yourself, what a great topic. When you say know yourself, what self? The fake identity, the ego self, the human self? What self are you talking about? Because the ego self, I mean, the ego would love to have me study it forever. But when I break everything down, I am awareness. I am consciousness. Period. The end.
Well, good point. And I am talking about the ego self. I'm talking about the 3D Nathan, emotions, behavior, past thoughts. That is exactly who I'm talking about. And the ego would love for me to study it forever and get in all the nooks and crannies and get obsessed. And no, I don't need to get obsessed, but I do want to have some understanding, make some sense of it.
Well, the understanding is simple and the understanding is clear.
Mm-hmm. And what is that?
Thank you for asking. Let me just use myself as an example. I mean, I can go back and dissect this Rebecca L. Norrington until the cows come home, whatever that means. I can dissect and come up with stories, but again, it's still just a story, a very limited story. Why I did this, why I said this, why I was thinking that. And I'm telling you, Nathan, it is for me, it is time to drop all of it. Every experience had a purpose, has a purpose. And that's all I need to know. The wanting to delve deeper, who wants to delve deeper? Does God want to delve deeper? Does the universe need to delve deeper? No. And but see, it's such a good carrot, it's such a juicy carrot for me to study me. How interesting. I don't have time.
Well, yeah, making a really good point. Does God need to delve in? No, I don't think God delves in. I think, but there is an in the moment acceptance of all of it. And maybe that's my real point is I I have a belief, a story, a belief that if I really understand and I go as deep as possible and I look at the past and I ask the right questions and I put my feet in other people's shoes, that'll make it easier for me to accept. That's my belief. And maybe I can just accept right here and now without going into all of that.
And you said something really important. That's my. Anytime I use the word my or I, what I am I talking about? What my am I talking about? My belief, but you said it. It's a belief. And quite frankly, all beliefs can be blown right out of the water. In what you're bringing up is one of my topics. If we can just smoothly move about this whole growth, spirituality, evolving, expanding. That's just part of the journey. And I tried to come up with an analogy. Baseball starts with, what is it, T-ball, where the little kids hit the ball and T-ball, and then it goes to high school and college, and then when you get to professional, I think there's A ball, B ball. I mean, you have to go through different levels even to get to be a professional, not to mention if you are an all-star, not to mention if you won the World Series. So it's just like this growth, spirituality, whatever you want to call it, this evolution, this human evolution of growth, and there's different levels. and everybody is on a different level. And for my journey, I'm realizing that my level, and there's no ego here, but my level is getting higher and higher and higher and higher, to the point where, and I'm going to attribute this to Moji, that there's no other questions that need to be answered once I realize that I am pure consciousness and pure awareness. Who's asking these questions? Who wants to know? In fact, he was interested. He got he was bothered. There should be no other questions when you are awareness, and that's the highest level. And then I found somebody else talking about higher beings that have been here. If we think, scratch that. If I don't think that I'm the only person or the only people in the universe that are alive, that are thinking, that have existed. There's more to this just earth. That's even another level of just being open. So my practice now is just being open to everything. Open, open, open.
Whew. Really
and there are no limits to knowledge, no limits to information, no limits to the climb. It is always an evolution.
Well, you're leaving us with not really much to talk about here. We get any questions. We're not identifying. Keeps going. Pure consciousness. Sounds like a good place to end the show.
Have a good night and a good day.
And a good morning and a good night. Well, that's really deep. For me, I'm feeling, coming back to the I don't know, the I don't know-ness. I don't know how big it is. I don't know other beings. I know this planet and my limited experience. And can I accept that there is more than what I know? That's a strange concept for my ego.
That's a very uncomfortable, strange. The ego, one of the things that I recognize, it wants to know. It believes that it knows. And I'm just, not today, ego. But there are, and I understand what you're saying, but there are other things to talk about. There are other things, because this human journey, there's so much in it. It's a big stew. So let's see. I wanted to start a new segment. I wanted to ask you, let's see, where's my segment? I thought it was hysterical. Where's my new segment? Because I had to write it down. Where is my new segment? It is called, oh my goodness. Oh. From here to Uranus.
Now that's good. That's really good. I like it already a lot.
And that's about that's from, and it is a place to complain. It is a place to have fun with the stuff that isn't funny. It's thank God I wrote it down, because I never would have remembered it. I remember the word Uranus, but
and listen, I gotta give it up. I gotta give it up to my boys and my girls, whoever the hell came up with that name Uranus to that planet. I'm very, very grateful for that, because that really it's the gift that keeps on giving.
Yes, it does.
And fun fact, it is the last known planet in our solar system. Sadly, Pluto was unnamed a planet, and it is now a moon or a rock or whatever it is, but Pluto is always a planet to me. But for now, it ends with Uranus.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I don't know if you know this, but when I was in college, I wanted to be an astronomer. Did I tell you that?
Maybe.
I
Meaning you
wanted to
wanted to
be,
get in a spaceship and travel around or study space?
I just wanted to study space. I did not want to travel in space. That's crazy. I
No,
didn't want
that's
to go to the
crazy.
moon. I didn't want to go to Mars. I didn't want to do any of that, but I definitely wanted to study space.
Yes.
And
Okay.
and I was very listen, didn't we say that we don't talk over each other?
Well, it's just hard when you keep talking. There's no space to really jump in.
We'll do this. We'll do this.
That's true. All right.
There's always a solution. And I have
Today
to
there
say,
is. Sorry. And now I'm not even bothered by the teething anymore.
good job. Good. And I have to say, I was traumatized when they let go of Pluto. I am not letting go of Pluto. Pluto will always be a planet to me.
It's very sweet of you.
Thank you. So
So
from
look
here
with
to
this segment.
first, so from here to Uranus, I have this. This is I'm going on my third week. Wednesday will be 3 weeks after this hip surgery, and I'm getting out. Yesterday, I had physical therapy for the first time. I was lifting my leg up 2, 3 inches, flexed foot, squeezing my butt cheek, squeeze, 30 reps. And I was exhausted. And I wasn't exhausted, but I felt alive again. I felt, yes, okay. But before all of that, I had to fill out paperwork, probably 10 minutes of paperwork with one stupid question out after another. None of the questions referenced somebody that just had surgery. The questions referenced either you were old or you had an accident or an injury. And that was none of that. And so I didn't answer them. Yes.
And we know how much you love paperwork. And I also love paperwork, but I don't
Yes.
love paperwork.
No. And I hate stupid questions. Anyway, so there were about 14 questions that I was forced to answer, and I refused because it didn't make sense. The questions didn't make sense. And I was looking at them and I was circle, and I just didn't answer. Then they came back, well, you have to answer this because this is the way we we evaluate. I said, but I had surgery. So what do you mean? What can I? One of them was, are you running? Can you run a block? I just had surgery. The answer is no. Well, anyway, I was really getting, scratch that. My ego was really getting angry. Rebecca was getting annoyed. And so she already did a little boop boopity boop to the receptionist, and then don't even start with a physical therapist who started, you have to answer these questions. For me, this life is about exchanging energy. I'm exchanging energy with them. They're exchanging energy with me. When I practice not judging it and then just moving on to the next moment, no judgment, no story. Because after an hour and a half, plus I was waiting for a half hour, after an hour and a half, my whole energy shifted from this annoyed to not annoyed and calm. And if I just stay in the moment, live in the moment, that could have been a Uranus title.
It could have been. It could have been. What do you mean Uranus title? Like bad? Uranus is
Yeah.
bad.
Well, no, Uranus is funny.
Oh well, Uranus is funny. Okay.
And I'm going to say that my practice is to practice lightening up over all the time I poke my lips out or I come up with stupid questions, because all it is still more food for the ego.
lightening up and loosening up Uranus.
Yes.
And I want to squeeze this in here because we're already minutes in and we haven't even tried, but it sounds like the physical therapist and the receptionist asked your paperwork was contingent upon them helping you and moving forward.
You're so good with that word of the day.
I mean, I'm
You are the
trying.
quintessential, you embody a quintessential scholar.
Well, thank you. And great and really great story. And I'm in the same boat. When I poke my lips out, I mean, I'm up here poking my lips out, poking my chin out, poking my eyes out, bugging my forehead. Everything's coming out over the seemingly littlest things. The car is a great example. There's something, I mean, if we're talking identity, Nathan feels just very righteous in the car. He's the best driver. He's the most aware. He's the fastest when he's the smoothest. He's the most kind. And everybody else,
Did you say kind?
I did say kind.
Road
What
rage,
I
a kind road rager?
well, what I mean is kind. Yes, a kind road rager. What I mean is very. Listen, we're all getting somewhere, so we have to work together on the road. I'm working with you, and you'll work with me, and I won't be a road rager if you do it correctly.
I have to just butt in just for 2 seconds.
Of course.
This watching, bringing these other people into my mix.
Oh, you know what? We are out of time. Thank you for jumping in, though. Ooh, glad that. Yes, please continue.
Why are you all pulling other people into your mix?
What do you mean? Why I'm pulling people in my mix? Because of you.
Oh, it's my fault. Now that makes sense.
Well, now that we've agreed on that, going back to, oh yes, my kind road rage. So,
Oh,
my ears were cold. So, yeah, well, listen, to make a long story short, my point is,
you mean a long story longer?
my point is that, listen, I don't want to be poking my lips out and upset over all these little things, mumbling to myself under my breath, glancing over to see who's in the car and judging whoever it is behind the wheel. Wow, what a terrible way to spend my limited life experience. So if I am witnessing, I can witness, hopefully have a good laugh, and if not, patiently wait till it's over, because it will be over, and really see it for what it is.
This is not going to be like me. This isn't my shtick, but I'm going to correct you on one thing that you said.
Absolutely. No, this is not like you, and go ahead.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Hey.
It's not a terrible way to spend. That's a conclusion.
It is terrible.
Okay, you win.
Well, no, that is a judgment. Yeah, absolutely. That's a judge. It's not terrible unless I say it's terrible.
Yes.
It's definitely not my preference.
Not whose preference? I'm just saying. Either I'm going to be human or I'm going to rise above the humanness. I'll be damned if I take that ego on a trip with me on a journey. I will watch it. It will be my ego's preference, and it's my ego has such noble, noble, noble reasons, justifications. I'm not buying into you, ego, at all.
Well, how about you buy into this? Because I'm going to flip the script.
Please.
And I am. You have two really good moves. You have the ears and then you have the duck.
Yes.
Anyways, no, I'm not just human. I am consciousness and spirit, and I am also human, and I am at times limited in my viewing. I forget that I'm conscious. I act like a human. And coming back to correct myself or criticize, or I need to be consciousness all the time. Who's saying that? I'm allowed to be and and I'm just doing the best I can, because which is another one of my topics, which is not being perfect. As usual, I've talked about being perfect and this perfectionism, and I'm not even sure exactly why I wrote that, but I just wrote not perfect. And there's something that helps me remember, yes, the volcano's gonna blow, yes, the road rage, yes, the judgment, the whatever it is, and that's a part of this human experience, at least the way I see it.
We've asked this before. Is there anything in nature that isn't perfect?
I'm tempted to say a joke, but I'll just answer the question and say, in regards to how you're asking and what you're asking, no, there's not.
Even the animal that's only born with 3 legs and his friends and family have 4. There's nothing in nature that isn't perfect.
I think when I hear perfect, I'm thinking there's something to change. And yeah.
And okay, and then I'm going to say that this perfection, there is just something to be aware of, and be aware of how, where am I operating from? Am I operating from this ego sense? Am I operating? Where am I operating? Where is my focus? Where is my attention? Who am I feeding? So I do believe that that in my world everything is perfect, me and the world. You'll get there.
It's all starting to make sense, isn't it? I'm talking to the audience. So, what a quintessential little show we have here. Anything else?
Yes. I want to share that there's another person. He's a black guy. His name is Terrence. He used to be on Empire, that show. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about.
I know I know the show, but I don't know. I have never watched it, or nor do I know the person you're talking about.
Yeah, but but this guy, he's talk about rebel. I'm finding all these rebels, these people that are just speaking out, and his whole thing, he's not the only one, but this is who I found. He's talking about everything we already know everything is energy, and everything it has a frequency. Even dirt or a rock has a frequency. And he was talking about cancer, and if you have cancer cells, that's a frequency too, and that there is a frequency that is incompatible with cancer, and that the cancer can be cured with a frequency. I'm just saying that the universe is just dropping all this information in my lap. And one of the things that I am getting ready for, and I really do mean this, is ready to be hated, ready to be not liked, talked about, hated, disdained. They are preparing me for that.
Yeah, I relate to that. I relate to the exact same thing. I feel like I'm being prepared for the same, to be disliked or not admired, just not think I'm funny, not think I'm talented, bad mouth me, make fun of me, being prepared for that. And I feel like I'm getting a little closer to that all the time. And I'm also being prepared for people to like me and to people to think I'm funny and to admire me, adore me. I'm being prepared for that too, because that's the same, not the same, it's still coming from somewhere outside of me. And what's really important, when I lay my head on that pillow at night or I look at myself in the mirror, what is really important? Am I going to sleep only holding on to half the truth where half the people admire me? Am I afraid because of half the people don't like me or hate me or the real truth, like you said, which is the universe's perspective, which is just total acceptance. And I'm not using the word love on purpose, but it's basically the same idea. And I want to stay when you say, okay, who am I speaking from? Where am I speaking as? Yes, I do want to come from that place as often as possible and remember that truth.
Well, now you hit on two things, which I'm going to piggyback. It doesn't matter if you love me, accept me, think I'm funny, or you hate me, can't stand me. It doesn't, I don't care. I'm not swayed by the love, the adoration, and I'm not swayed by the other side. I'm here being me, doing me, and being. This is a word. It's just a word. I'm with the energy. Fearless. The fearless. It's a word. But just here. This is it. And F everything else. The bird is going to have to. The bird sings regardless of what anybody thinks. Because that's what the bird does. That's where I'm going. I'm telling you. And I get inspired by these people that are speaking things that nobody wants to hear. The
Well,
masses
that's
don't
not
want to.
true. Some people do want to hear that.
I was just going to say the masses, 98%, the masses, scratch the 98%, do not want to hear.
Or it's not time for them to hear it.
When
There, there,
you,
there's there's paintings and pictures and artwork that people didn't like at the time, and then now it's in the Louvre Museum. Now people are reading books that were banned 500 years ago. So it's everything has its time and place, and that's not up to me. I'm just here to do me in this time and space. I have this body, this Nathan vehicle, and which was created not by me. And talk about a bird singing. Every bird has its own unique voice, and their voice was created physically, metaphysically, chemically, all these little atoms coming together. The mystery of the universe is created in a very specific way. So let that bird sing in its own way. And and listen, Nathan's preference is that he's adored and loved by as many other things as possible in this physical lifetime, and that's that. Will it happen in that specific way? Who knows? I don't know.
Well, the real question is, how long will Nathan hold on to wanting that? Nathan wants that or feels that right now,
Probably
but
till the day he dies.
that's not true.
And it is true. That is possibly very true. I mean, if we're talking Nathan identity, Nathan, yes, like you say with customer service or any of these things, how long, when will I get this? When am I going to stop this? Maybe never. The ailments, the physical ailments, maybe we have them for until who knows?
That's true.
I mean,
So
Nathan,
so yeah,
yes.
yeah, yes, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Let me just get back to this one thing about people and books being banned. These people that I'm talking about are being silenced today by government, by Facebook, by YouTube. I mean, they are their channels are being taken down. This is something that's happening today. So I'm not talking about uh, and what I my real point is really not about them. I'm ready for all of that too.
Well, if you'd like to be banned or taken down, I could have done that a long time ago for you.
Okay, what
And
else? What
and
else?
and also I think this is history, that this is, I think, human nature. Someone has a message or a voice or a purpose, or they're speaking something, and then another group of people is there to silence them and ban them, and no, you people can't hear this. I mean that, and it is happening today, and it's happened then, and it'll happen in the future too. So who are we? Who am I? Am I the banner, and I got to stop this, and I got to control this, and I got to shut this person up and right this wrong? Or am I the speaker? Am I one of the speakers of truth, of my truth? Fearless, like you said. When I think of, I'm not even really into people like this or have much knowledge of it, but general knowledge. But when I think of people that have spoken their truth, I do think of courage and fearlessness and getting in front of people and the message not being received, and they're doing it anyway and not seeming fearless, because they're not. They have something, is it's like they can't help it. They have to. They Once they've decided, and this is me too, once they've decided to live out their truth and be themselves, no matter what they get back, they're done. So I'm on the same path.
And you said it eloquently, quintessentially.
Quintessentially.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Compel. There is a compel, and it feels like pushing. And anyway, yeah, I just never felt this before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I was thinking it's time. It's time. I actually had a thought this morning. Don't have this often, it doesn't seem like, but a gratitude around the timing of things for me. And I can remember time just complaining. It's when it's too late. I'm not ready. I'm bitter. I'm resentful of the timing. And something happened this morning. I thought I actually like the timing of my life, and it fits me. And that's that.
It fits you perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
It is me on the outside looking in. It looks like an ease. You've been eased into every place, every situation. It's not. It's a and place him here gently, slowly, and then okay, it's time to place him here. But it's not a That's how I've always felt about you.
Well, that feels true for me, and that's a motherly knowledge I think you have of me and seeing my experience. That feels exactly true for me. Ease into the warm bath. Sometimes it's a little hot. It's a little hot bath, but it's still slow. Over here, then over here. That's how I like it.
Yes. And so that's why you call your mother more often, or the reminders.
Yes, yes, I will do that. I'll call you right after our show. You know I
Okay.
will.
I know you will. I know that's right. Let me just a little fun, a little levity, a little lightness.
Yes, as we
So I'm
wind
I'm
down here.
I'm running around here, not running around here, but I have a walker and I use it. The only time I didn't use it, I taught my foam roller class today, by the way. AOIO. Yes, I taught my foam roller class. I didn't roll on that hip. But anyway, and I didn't use my walker, but I used it yesterday and I was going into this FedEx office and the guy there talk about stone face, nothing's funny. I was using I had some paper that I wanted shredded and it's 65 cents to shred and I always say, "Wow, that's outrageous." $1.25 to shred. Oh, wow, the price is going up. And of course, I'm laughing and I'm joking. And I realize, Nathan, I really do like to make people laugh. I enjoy it. And he never laughs. It's been 2 years now. He never laughs, not even a smile. I haven't gotten this guy to crack once. And just talk about a sour lemon. So anyway, I shred the give him the paper. It's $2.30. And I walked in, and the door is really heavy, so I've got my one hand on the roller and one hand on the door, and I'm like an old person trying to get in the door with the roller with the walker. And then when I was leaving, he didn't even say, "I'll get the door for you." He didn't say anything, but he was following me. He said, I got the door. This being on a walker, using a walker, garners a lot of sympathy from people, a lot of nice treatment, sympathy, kindness. And I can see get not me, but I can see getting attached to that, having that care. Oh, let me help you. I can see that being a thing.
Yeah, that well, it's been a thing for me. And yeah, just being coddled and let me do this for you and let me help you, you poor little helpless nothing of a being. Let me help you do this, let me help you do that. Yeah, absolutely. I've been attached to that's why I'm trying to detach from you.
You think you've been coddled?
I, d- well, I don't think I've been caught. I think I've been mothered. I think I've been mothered, and how long are we going to do this?
Until I breathe my last breath.
Well, I always want to be mothered. I always want a mother and I want to be mothered. But there's just a subtle difference for me of I got it and yes, please help me. It's always a little different. I feel it out in the moment.
We'll get over it because that's why
Anyways, I
I'm
was trying
here.
to agree with your story about being attached because I do feel that attachment and there's an empowerment in oh wow I can do this one and I want to say about him not really thinking you're funny or maybe he's a sour lemon I'm not sure but it's like a show that I don't like Everybody Loves Raymond. I know you like that show. I don't really think that show's particularly funny. It's like me saying it's not funny and then sitting me down and then putting on episode after episode 100 times waiting for me to laugh. It's not funny. I don't like Everybody's Loves Raymond. He doesn't think you're funny.
Everybody. I just haven't found the right joke.
And that could be true.
I break everybody down. I find that what makes them laugh, I find they're funny, and I pounce on it.
Well, good luck. I would be very curious to see what gets in this guy's what tickles his funny bone because I do think he has the ability to laugh. He just hasn't yet. You might
Yes.
not you might not be the messenger, the harbinger.
Might.
Might not be.
Well,
Oh and 100 after 2 years is not a good streak. But on the brighter side, you do make me laugh a lot. I think you're very
yes.
funny.
Yeah, you're my favorite audience too.
Yes.
Okay. I
All
think we
right.
should listen
Well,
to the song again and let's get out of
carry
here.
on out. Let's do the last half of the song.
Let's do the whole song.
All right. I'll need to make a closing outro song, but I'll do that for next week.
And let's make it
Hey,
loud.
it's time to go.
Was it too not loud enough?
Yeah. You know what it is. Get into it. Don't act like you don't already know the name. Let's go. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? You heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. What? I said you heard me. Mother and son making sense out of nonsense. Plus more. Now it's on. Now let's listen.
Woo! Let's start a new show.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Well, everyone will have to wait for next week. You have to be patient.
What a great show. Thank
Great
you for
show.
joining.
Yes.
Good show. Great show.
Great to be
Let's
back.
end it later.